Just talk about your confidence with this coaching staff and this new team.
Yeah, I mean, confidence is through the roof. I was just talking to another coach the other day about like how much of a blessing it is to be able to play for Coach Mullen and then also be around Coach Dennis. Just like not only the offensive players and the teams that they've been around and built and been catalysts with, but the quarterback specifically. Like you check those guys' resumes, it's second to none.
Just with Coach Dennis, what have you been able to develop more here during spring ball?
I think just being confident pre-snap and then knowing that whatever I do studying outside of the field is going to take care of me post-snap. Some of the things that he tells me about certain guys that he's had, coached up a bunch of different archetypes of quarterbacks, so it makes me feel comfortable that, I can be the best pocket passer in the nation, be the best running quarterback, and, be really well-rounded.
What was for you as far as some of the talent you have there, some of the weapons? Who stood out to you so far?
Y'all got time? I'm going to tell you right now, anybody wearing red. The main weapons, I don't really, if I'm going to war, I don't know if I want a gun instead of a tank. So the main weapon's going to be the big guys. I love those guys. They're working out there. They're really trying to move people. I think Malik's been balling. Will back out here having a great time. We're just having fun, especially those centers, taking the lead. As far as receivers, I mean, I'll tell guys, this ain't normal, the guys that we got out of here in Vegas right now. We got a bunch of dudes that have played big-time ball, been in big-time games, making huge plays. I mean, we got Troy, who out there looking like a tight end, grown man, running like a slot. So it's it's all over the place. I mean, you got Day-Day, JoJo, name it, Caden working out the slot. D-Lo, he was a quarterback before, if y'all didn't know that. But all those guys, like, they really working. Young guy like Taven, like, they getting right, and it gives me confidence knowing that, again, like the guys that Coach Dell has coached up, the guys that Coach Dennis has been around, and Coach Mullen as far as receivers, like, you see those guys in the league right now, and they're elite in what they do.
How would you describe your leadership style?
Letting, whatever God has on my heart lead me. And then after that, it's just building bonds with people. Not everyone follows the same, and I think that the way that people follow is more important than the way that I lead. So finding a way to build a connection. We were just talking about in the quarterback huddle over there. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So you got to build a relationship with somebody before you can call them out, love them up, whatever it is. They have to know it's coming from a place of love.
What did you think of today's install?
It was big. We installed a lot of pass plays. No quarterback receiver is going to complain about that. So it was good, especially like some downfield shots as well as like pure progressions. It really feels like we're, getting the offense coming along. Normally through like a spring ball or a camp, the defense kind of comes along a little quicker. But it's been good, getting good competition. Throwing it over Jake's head, it's been a lot of fun.
Is it hard not to get caught up in competition, or are you just worried about yourself getting the offense down and just taking care of business that way?
I think the things that make it easy for me, one is just like the history of, quarterback rooms that I've been in. It's been great being teammates with the guys that I have in the past, Davis Warren, J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Denigal. That culture showed me what it's like to be a selfless teammate and have like a selfless pursuit of excellence. And then when I get here, you never really know what you're getting into unless you know somebody that's already there. But between like Gael, Cam, and Anthony, like I'm talking about immediate brothers for life, immediate connection. We're the black jersey crew out here, but we take them off. We're in the locker room all next to each other. We're best friends. And I think the biggest thing that makes it easy for me is understanding that whatever struggles I have out here on the field, there's nobody in that building that's going to understand what I'm going through more than those guys. They're going to have that same, empathy and understand what we're going through as brothers. I can talk to the O-line. They may not get the downfield concepts. You talk to the receivers, they don't get protection. But, those guys in the black jerseys, those are the only ones who really get you. So sometimes it feels like, it's not as much of a friend. It's just like a brother. Like it's that guy that's always there.
Coming into the spring, what did you want to improve on? What were your goals? What did you need to work on?
I wanted to, like I said earlier with Coach Dennis, just like improve my pre-snap mechanics. I think that's something that until I'm done making money to throw footballs, that I'm just going to continue to try to improve because no matter what, whatever you do pre-snap is going to override whatever happens post-snap. So it's just being the smartest guy on the field. Sometimes it's going to be, 1 against 11. No matter how many weapons you have to make the right plays because you're the guy with the ball in your hands. So understanding all that, pre-snap ID, especially getting to see a new defense that, they're running out here. And then on top of that, just, improving from being consistent and balanced in the pocket, which Coach Mullen has helped me with a lot.
You mentioned struggles. Like, is there anything that you could pinpoint where you're like, hey, I got to get better at this? Like, I'm not doing this.
Right now, I would say getting comfortable knowing exactly. I'll say one thing that's really important is knowing what the coach wants when they're calling a play. Right now, it's a lot of scripted stuff, so it's a little bit different, but just understanding what we're trying to do. And also, never being afraid to just let somebody else touch the ball. There's a lot of guys out here, and I think I'm pretty athletic, but there's a lot of guys in red jerseys that are more athletic than me. So just let them touch the ball, let them go make a play.
What are you seeing from them? Are they giving you a lot of different looks?
Yeah, they definitely are. They're going everything in the kitchen sink, and they're not really jacks of all trades and masters of none. It seems like they're masters of all of it right now. They're going 3 down, 4 down, pressures here, simulated, all that. The way that they're able to disguise 1 high, 2 high, no high, it's been really good for us. It helps with our development. We don't, tell them as much as we should, but we appreciate those guys just giving us a great look. And then, the way that the DBs are really aggressive on our receivers, forcing them to get open, a little more aggressive. Same with, the edges working our tackles and the interior against the run game. It's really good battles.
Let's respond.
I think it's been really good because, like I said, we have a lot of guys coming from different places, big time ballers, and beyond like guys that know how to play good ball, a lot of guys that know how to lead. Just like, the guy I was poking fun at, Jake, like he's been in winning culture his whole life. And as soon as something like that happened, him, Chief, all the guys in the defense, they're stepping up and they're communicating with each other. And it's like at the end of the day, whoever's calling plays isn't going to put on pads. They're not going to blitz. They're not going to cover. So it's those guys out there, whatever 11 are on the field, plus the, however many more on the sideline, they're banding together as long as they're brothers. It seems like they're unstoppable.